Take a minute, breathe it in. Every lesson, every season, there's grace in the growing. Welcome to A Minute with Amita.
Welcome to A Minute with Amita. I'm Amita, and this is where we slow down, let God's word speak, and we learn how to live it. Let's get into today's word. Have you ever had a child point out something about you that made you laugh? And then after you think about it for a minute or two, it made you say, maybe I need to pay attention to that. Well, y'all, my granddaughter did just that to me. She pointed out something that I do, and honestly, I don't really think that much about it. I talk to myself. And apparently, I do it enough for somebody else to notice. Now, I know I'm not the only one that talks to themselves. But what started as a funny little observation actually made me think about something much deeper. Sisters, what are we saying to ourselves when nobody else is listening? So, my granddaughter noticed that I talk to myself a lot, and she was right. I tried to argue with her a little bit, but let's be honest, she was right. Sometimes I'm talking to myself about what I need to get done. Sometimes I'm talking to myself trying to figure something out. Sometimes I'm talking myself through something I'm doing. Heck, sometimes I'm just talking. But when she pointed it out to me, I laughed because children have a way of saying things that adults might notice but would never actually say. She wasn't trying to criticize me. She just simply noticed something about me and she said it. And after I laughed about it, I really started thinking about it. If I'm going to talk to myself, maybe I need to pay attention to what I'm saying to myself. Because look, here's the thing. We all talk to ourselves. Okay, maybe you don't talk out loud to yourself like I do, but you do talk to yourself. But we have an internal conversation going on all the time. And sometimes that conversation sounds like, I can't do this. I'm too old. I don't look good anymore. Oh, I'm not where I thought I'd be by now. Wow, I messed that up. Dang it, what's wrong with me? Maybe I should give up. But look, here's what I've realized. Sometimes we are speaking words to ourselves that we would never dare speak to somebody else. We would encourage our friend, right? We would tell our daughter she's beautiful. We'd tell our granddaughter she's capable. We tell somebody else, oh sis, don't give up. You got this. But then we turn around and talk to ourselves like we're our own worst enemy. Why do we do that? And see, that's where this little conversation with my granddaughter really got me to thinking. Proverbs 18:21, always the King James Version, says this: death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. That's powerful, sis. Our words have power. And yes, we often think about the words we speak to other people. But what about the words we speak to ourselves? What are you declaring about yourself every day? Because look, eventually, if you repeat something enough, you're going to start believing it. And this is why we have to be so careful. Not everything that enters our mind deserves a permanent place in our conversation. Now, I'm not saying we should walk around pretending everything is perfect, because we know it's not. We know life isn't perfect. We have disappointments. We make mistakes. We get tired. We have days when we are frustrated, discouraged, and just plain over it. Yes, I have those days too. But there's a difference between acknowledging what you're going through and speaking defeat over yourself. So listen up, listen. There's a difference between saying, I am having a difficult day, opposed to saying, my life is a mess and nothing is ever going to get better. There's a difference between saying, I made a mistake, and saying, I can't do anything right. One statement acknowledges a circumstance. The other statement starts defining who you are. And I do not want to define myself by my worst day. I hope you don't either. I don't want to define myself by the mistakes I make. And I certainly don't want to spend this season of my life talking myself out of what God may still have for me. So, the next time you catch yourself talking to yourself, stop and listen to yourself. And then ask yourself, is what I'm saying about myself consistent with what God says about me? Because if God says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, I don't need to keep telling myself I'm not enough. If God says He will never leave nor forsake me, I don't need to convince myself that I'm alone. And look, if God has brought me through everything I've already survived, I do not need to assume that He can't handle whatever comes next. So here's my challenge for you this week. Listen to yourself, sis. Listen. Not just what you say to everybody else, but listen to what you say to yourself. Catch the negative self-talk. And when you catch it, stop it. Ask yourself, is that what God says about me? If it isn't, replace it with truth. Not a fantasy, not pretending, but with truth. Speak life, speak hope, speak God's promises, and speak to yourself with the same grace you would give somebody you love. Because we've lived long enough to know that life can be hard. We don't need to make it harder by becoming our own worst critic. And if you're going to talk to yourself like Amita does, make sure you're saying something worth hearing. Now, before you go, sit with that. Don't just hear the word, live it. Sis, if this blessed you, share it with someone who needs it. Until the next time, be well, stay rooted, and I'll see you for another Minute with Amita.